What do you know about Poe? Edgar Allan Poe is known today for his short stories and poetry that are full of chilling suspense and horror. Many consider Poe to be the father of the detective story. Some of his most acclaimed works include The Telltale Heart, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Pit and the Pendulum, The Raven, Annabel Lee, and The Black Cat. Edgar was born January 19th, 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts. He was the second child born to actors John and Elizabeth Poe. His father abandoned the family when Edgar was 1 year old. His mother died when Edgar was 2 years old. Edgar was raised by foster parents John Allan and Frances Valentine Allan. John Allan was a respected merchant, so Edgar was well provided for. Edgar moved to England with Mr. and Mrs. Allan when he was 6 years old. There he attended school in Irvine, Scotland, and Chelsea, England. He and the Allans returned to Richmond, Virginia after 5 years. Poe attended the University of Virginia for a year, but dropped out due to a lack of money and gambling and drinking problems. Poe's request for monetary assistance from Mr. Allan was always met with much resistance. Poe's money management and career choices eventually led to their hostile disassociation with each other. Poe joined the army as a last resort to support himself. There he published his first collection of poems and began considering writing as an occupation. To appease and regain some financial support from John Allan after Mrs. Allan's death, Edgar enlisted as a cadet at West Point. 2 years later, he intentionally neglects his duties and disobeys orders, so he will be court-martialed and discharged from West Point. Poe tried to earn a living as an author, but barely is paid anything for his stories and poems. At age 27, Poe marries his cousin, Virginia Clem, who is only 13. Poe works as an assistant editor for several magazines and contributes with poems, short stories, and book reviews. Poe hoped to begin his own monthly journal of literary review called The Pen, to be written in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in 1840. The dream of starting his own magazine was never achieved. Eventually, in January 1845, he gained great fame following the publication of The Raven. Poe died October 3rd, 1849, in Baltimore at Washington Medical College. He had been brought in from the street 3 days earlier into the hospital in a state of delirium by helpful strangers. The real cause of his death remains unknown due to the loss of all hospital records. Poe, though now viewed as an obvious literary master, is still seen as a mysterious, unconventional, and probably troubled soul, whose intellect and views on human nature remain largely misunderstood. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled, whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence, whether much that is glorious, whether all that is profound, does not spring from disease of thought, from moods of mind exalted at the expense of general intellect. From Poe's Eleanor.